Hi, everyone. This is Claudia Villarreal-Quiroz. I am a reference librarian here at McAllen Public Library, and welcome to Small Business Development for Veteran Business Owners. Today, we have a guest speaker, Maria Juarez Serna from the Small Business Development Center, who is the director. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Claudia, for the invitation to be with you here again. And thank you all for listening in. We'll go ahead and get started, Claudia, on business development.
Yes.
Awesome. First of all, it is Veterans Day, and last week was National Small Business Veterans Week. So I want to thank all our veterans out there for your service. Thank you very much. In any branch of the military and all your service. We appreciate you. Thank you. With that, the invitation is to talk about specifically services that are available for veterans in the Rio Grande Valley for veterans in business. So I want to talk to you about our program today. It's called the Small Business Development Center, and another center that is associated with us. It's also hosted at UTRGV. It's called, very appropriately, Veterans Business Outreach Center. So let me talk to you about the SBDC. That's the center that I represent. And I also work with our VBuck and our PTAC. So I want to talk about them a little bit as well. With that said, PowerPoint presentation, I'll be talking, I'm looking this way, so I hope that you can see me and I'm not moving my eyes or darting all over the place. But the Small Business Development Center, it's a nonprofit organization. It is nationwide. It's what we call an Association of Small Business Development Centers. There are about 900 such centers across the U.S. and its territories, and they're all here to serve the small business community, women, men, veterans, non-veterans, you name it. It's all about the small business community, the backbone of the U.S. And we have all seen this through the pandemic. That's why it's labeled this way. We redoubled our efforts to focus on helping these small businesses that were being negatively affected throughout these last, what is it, almost, it's going to be probably over a year and a half now. And so that's what we've been working on. So I'm going to cover our regular services, talk a little bit about the services that we enhanced during the pandemic. And then, of course, the services these are services that are generally available to the entire public that wants to start a small business or has a small business. And of course, we have a specific program that focuses on assisting veterans. So let me get to that. So as I mentioned, Small Business Development Center, you can find one anywhere you go in the states and the territories. Specifically here in the Rio Grande Valley, our SBDC is located at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. It is part of this national association, so we can have access to different resources, whether they're here locally, statewide, or nationwide. Organizationally speaking, we are our SBDC is part of the Southwest Texas Border Network. That's a group of 10 what we call service centers and 3 specialty centers located out of San Antonio, or UTSA specifically. We are all here in Texas funded by the state of Texas, partially funded by the U.S. Small Business Administration, and of course, as the program is hosted held by UTRGV. We also get support from UTRGV. That is how we can bring the services to you at no cost. If there's a charge, it's usually minimal, and that's for a special training here and there. Other than that, all our services, and that I'll go into in a bit, all our services are at no cost to anyone who is wanting to start a business or who has a business and has questions and needs assistance. So the SBDC exists, and I said, as a nonprofit. And we are able to get funding, public funding, which is basically your tax dollars at work. And we do this for the purposes of helping small businesses that are the ones that actually have the impact on the community. And just to give you an idea, for example, when the government, in this case federal or state or the university, invests money in the small business development program to help small businesses, for every dollar our small bit that we help in our small businesses, they are able to give $4.7 in return. And what does that mean? Is in terms of sales taxes, tax revenue, sales over the year, it basically multiplies. So we're able to continue to have this program with a positive, in a positive sense, because the money that's invested is returned almost fivefold. And that varies by year. Sometimes it goes up by tenfold, depending on the impact that is made. And so that's third party, independent, verified information. And so that's how we're able to continue to provide that service for you. The mission of the UTRGV Small Business Development Center is to promote growth, expansion, innovation, increase productivity, and improve management skills for small businesses in the Rio Grande Valley. So Cameron, Hidalgo, Star, and Willacy, small businesses in the area, we are here to support you. I will give you the contact information in a bit. So what does all this impact do? So as small business starts or as a small business grows, you are the folks, you create jobs for yourself, and you also create jobs for others. Just to give you an idea, in a 1 year period that we had last year, and this was even through the pandemic, our SBDC was able to help over 800 individuals. And these are individuals that come in once to get information, or they come in 10 times because they need to work on the planning for their business or the startup or the growth or what we call expansion for the business. In this year, these small businesses, and we would, some folks think like, well, there wasn't a lot of businesses that started during the pandemic. In fact, actually there were. So just of the folks that, and you can see that, right, when you drive around, but of the folks that we helped, 56 started new businesses, 78 grew their businesses, that is either hired more people, grew in sales, you name it, different things like that. And then we were able to help another 35 and what we call saved, and that is they were able to retain employment and continue operating after the temporary closures that we had. The jobs that were created by these small businesses and these were only the ones that we could capture information for, they were able, or the small businesses, they were able to create and or retained over 1,400 jobs. And I know there was some job losses and there's some job gains, but overall about 1,400. And then they were able to access over 10 million in loans or invest additional funds. And so how we measure that in terms of continuity for our program and continuity to be able to support the small business community is that when we measure on average individuals or small businesses that work with an SBDC versus those that don't, we do see a greater percentage of sales growth for those individuals in what they prepared in terms of their planning process or their business as they started a business or they grew their business wherever they were in whatever stage. And they also had a higher rate of return for employment. So when you take advantage of assistance that is offered, that is out there, it just helps you get to where you want to get faster. And I think it also gives you a chance to be able to grow a little bit faster as well, depending on what the plans are. So what does the SBDC offer generally? There's two main things and then things that are associated with it. So the two main things that we offer, what I call the core, is business advisement. And that is helping individuals one-to-one, confidential. We don't share this information with anybody but the individual that is needing the assistance unless you bring somebody with you. And it is at no cost to you. And so this advisement takes that you meet with an advisor, you set up an appointment. Right now we're doing a lot of virtual. People are still more comfortable virtually through Zoom, through telephone calls, etc. So you have a call, generally lasts about 45 minutes to an hour. Get to know the advisor gets to know you, and then define what the project is. Whether you are planning to start a business and you need information as to where to register, what taxes to consider, what are the options, different things like that. Or you're already in business and maybe you're looking to expand, you want to open another location, or you want some assistance in creating your handbook of operating procedures because you're planning to hire more people, so you want to have something more structured, different things like that. So different that we offer. So we offer business planning for startups and existing companies. We offer expansion and growth planning, financial projections and analysis. You might hear that financial projections and analysis a little bit more if you plan to borrow from a lender and maybe you visited with a lender and they'll say we'll need projections, we'll need an executive summary or a business plan. It's just a more formalized business plan, a formalized product to your planning process. And so that's what the banks are looking for. So you'll hear that, and so that's something that we can help you out with. We can also help you identify financing sources that are out there for you, and then give you, if you have any questions about them, we can provide some guidance in that area. So additional areas or specialized areas then expand. So this is the broad, and then it goes into depending on what is needed. Business continuity, emergency preparedness, corporate contracting, franchising, human resources, international trade, marketing and social media, technology commercialization and innovation, particularly during the pandemic. And I think I'm going to get to that in the next slide. Or as I'm talking, I'm looking at my slides. Some of the areas that we knew that people needed more assistance in, of course, initially back in March, April or so, it was a lot of information of what was out there in terms of the loan programs that were coming out specifically to help people that were affected during the pandemic. But then right around April or May, it then continued again with a lot of training, a lot of areas of focus. So we worked with local mentors, people that knew the program, that we knew that they worked with small businesses. We reached out to them, worked together, and they prepared a set of workshops that could really hone in on some of these needed areas. And we are still offering those sessions. So those are offered throughout the year. Generally, we offer about so that's the second thing that we offer is about 100 workshops, different topics throughout. And normally they are set up throughout the Valley. Although since last March, we have been virtual. We have been offering them through the virtual means of Zoom, and so people are able to access them from anywhere. So some of these topics that we enhanced specifically for the need were, of course, as I mentioned, identification of financing resources, marketing and social media, operations, e-commerce options, and some in human resources as well. So those were the ones that people highlighted as having more need for that information. So our mentors stepped up, created this different programs, and then we were able to offer them to the community. Also, there was questions a lot about sales. Those continue to, especially right now as we're going into the holidays. So we were bringing in some of those topics. Now, as we continue into the year, we're bringing back our traditional topics, which are branding, leadership and management, again, business continuity. So we continue to combine, offer a combination of different ones. There's always sessions on payroll. And for those individuals who are interested in starting a business, we have a specific training program. It's when we do it virtually, it's about an hour. It's called Smart Start. So if you've never been in business, or if you have never managed a business, you probably realize or notice that there's some lingo out there that you want to, and you can pick it up pretty quickly. So that way, when you go talk to a lender or you talk to other people in the same arena of business development, you can speak in the same language, if you will, or the language of business. And so you're able to pick some of that up. And then, of course, it's the session or the training is provided by one of our advisors. And we do have Spanish and we do have English. And then you're able to ask questions on the spot as well that pertain to you. Subsequently to that, of course, you can set up an appointment to speak specifically about your business idea or your project with the advisor that's presenting, or one of our other advisors that is available to help you as well. And so monthly, we average about 10 workshops. If anybody's interested, please email us. The easiest way to get to us is calling us at 956-665-7535, or emailing us at UTRGV /SBDC. And let me make sure I give you the email and the address right. It's www.utrgv.edu /SBDC. So that's the overall program that we have. I also want to talk to you a little bit about our other programs because they are also focused in business development. And I'm not covering all the programs that we have at the university. Of course, university is huge. We have different programs across the valley that are there to help you, and we are familiar with them. So as you come to our SBDC or our VBuck or our PTAC, if we see that you're needing those resources, we will put you in contact with those resources as well. Or you can always just reach us and say, I am looking for such and such program that you mentioned, and then we will be able to connect you to them. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Center. Again, with all these programs, the service is at no cost to you. It is also confidential, and you can reach us at that same number, 956-665-7535. Let us know what it is that you need, and we'll put you in contact with the right person to help you. So our PTAC is also a nationwide program, but it's Procurement Technical Assistance Center. So it focuses on existing small businesses that want to grow or focus on contracting with local, state, and government entities. So they help in different areas. Again, through one-to-one consulting, they also offer workshops. But they can provide you information on some of the bids that are out there, help you through the process if you have questions understanding some of the solicitations. There's certifications out there that you may have heard of. If you have questions about which ones or how to go and access them, our PTAC can be of help to you with that. And this is a little bit outdated in my number here, so it's probably more than this now. But from our 2009, 2015, that our PTAC, from 2009 to 2015, so now it's 2021, the services of the PTAC had a huge impact on the Valley. And the small businesses that they helped were able to access or receive over 37 million in contracting dollars. And as I mentioned, right now it's probably over 50 because of the help that they're able to provide. So if you need, if you are interested in how do I sell to, UTRGV, how do I sell to the state entity or I sell to state entities, but I want to take the next step and maybe sell to the federal government. How do I do this? These are questions that they can help you figure out. So I've spoken about the SBDC in my order. So I want to talk to you, very fitting, Veterans Business Day last week. National Small Business Veterans Week. And so I want to talk to you about our VBuck. A VBuck is a program. It's also a nationwide program. We have two in Texas, one up in the north and one here in the Valley. The one here in the Valley covers all the way to Houston, all the way across to El Paso, oh my gosh, I just forgot, Corpus Christi, and then all the way down to South Texas. So we're glad to hold, and I know I will be remiss if I don't mention this. Our director, Juan Santos Flores, likes to mention this fact that of the original SBDC, the original VBucks that came into play over probably about 17, 18 years ago, our VBuck is the only remaining original one. So there's some that kind of went away for different reasons. Some came in. So now we have more VBucks across the nation, but our VBuck here at UTRGV is the only remaining original VBuck. And so we're proud of that fact, because through that, we're able to continue to provide services to our veterans, our service disabled veterans, reservists and Guard members, active duty service members preparing to transition from military service to business ownership, and of course, the family members of these folks as well. So the mission of the VBuck is to help create, retain, and develop businesses and to contribute to the success of entrepreneurs who are members of the U.S. military community. And so very similarly to the SBDC, they provide one-to-one counseling to veterans and or family members, provide resources, and then refer them to whatever other programs they may need or they can have access to. And there's tons of information. I started to look through some when I thought I was going to put all this on the chat, but there's tons of resources. So I'll share one with you. It's actually the SBA website. And if you go into this, I labeled it actually one-stop website for links on the various different veterans-owned business resources that are out there. And so I'm just going to, I know It's really long, so I'm just going to say it, but then I can just share it if anybody has questions. But it's www.sba.gov/business-guide/your-business-veteran-owned businesses. I know it's really long, but actually any time, and all I had to do was go in and Google and put veteran businesses, and that was probably one of the top websites that came up. But in there, there's links to the VBucks, including our VBuck as well, different training programs that are out there. So just to give you an idea of the services, so there's a one-to-one consulting, different trainings, but there's a specific program of training that the VBuck offers, both on base and off base, and these are called Boots to Business. And these are 1 to 2 day boot camps, that's the name of them, and they take you through the different, for startups, they take you through the different steps or different areas to consider when you're starting a business. So it's a great program. I've presented at a couple of those, a couple of workshops within the 1 day or 2 day, and they're very, very beneficial. You get a lot of information. So again, if you've never been in business and you're a veteran and you're interested, please sign up for one of those Boots to Business workshops. Great, tremendous information that you get from that as well. So how do you get in contact with us? Like I mentioned, we are located structurally at UTRGV. We are off-site, so you don't have problems with parking and accessing our location if you visit us. But like I said, we're also working a lot virtually right now. So I know there's a lot of traffic, a lot of construction out there. We can set up a virtual workshop with any of these programs that you want to access. But our offices are physically located at what we call the CES, Community Engagement and Student Success Building, on the corner of Freddie Gonzalez and 281 or 69C, now here in Edinburgh. We're also operating out of the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce in Brownsville. And once we get more into normal, our advisors you'll be able to speak in person to one of our advisors at the various locations of our partners. So we have various partners, specifically chambers of commerce, EDCs across the Rio Grande Valley, that graciously offer us their location so that we can meet with you closer to where you are. And so we'll be able to do that sometime next year. But like I said, virtual is wonderful. People are accessing the service. You save on the drive, and you just, get to the appointments more on time, I think, because there's no delay in traffic. And then you're able to speak with an advisor. And like I said, about 45 minutes to an hour. So Claudia, that's the overall. I hope I didn't go through it too fast, but I wanted to make sure I covered the different programs and the different services that are offered through the university. There, like I said, there's tons more, but I know we were focused specifically on the business development today.
Yes, thank you so much, Maria, for presenting today for small business owners and for veterans on Veterans Day today. It was very informative. And how can someone reach you? By phone? Is that easier by phone, by email? If they have any questions?
If anybody has any questions, the two easiest ways to get to us is through phone call, 956. So I'll say 956-665-7535. The second, if you want to reach our VBuck, you can reach all our programs through that number. But if you are specifically wanting maybe to talk to somebody at our Veterans Business Program, you can also dial 665-8931. And you can reach both the VBuck and the PTAC through that number. You can also email us. I know. Like for me, sometimes text is better, but this is email. So the email to us is this very simple. It's SBDC, Small Business Development Center, but the short SBDC at utrgv.edu. Just email us there. Ask us that you want an appointment. Somebody will call you up, and then we'll proceed with the registration, which is very simple. But it does require a link, so we'll just email that to you. I know some people also contact us through Facebook. Please follow us. Our training coordinator is always keeping everybody up to date on the different resources that are out there that are coming up. So you can find us on Facebook under the same UTRGV SBDC, or Twitter, UTRGV SBDC. So if you just want more information, you can also visit our website, and it's www.utrgv.edu/SBDC. That's there's just different ways to access us through any of these means that are out there. So that's how we can access. And one of the interesting, I guess, facts, they're probably a little bit outdated, so they're more than this, Claudia. And I was looking up some of the information that's offered by the state, by the SBA, but we have, and this was years ago, 8.2 of the adult population in Texas is veteran. So that's
Wow.
huge, right? So even so, the VBuck is specifically focused on veterans.
Mhm.
Any as you can see from the programs I mentioned, any of the programs that are out there, um, that they focus generally on all small businesses. Now and again, they'll also have specific programs. So I want to share, if there's time, Claudia, I want to mention a couple of things that I found out this last week, that might be. So if you're wondering, like, well, what type of assistance is specific for veterans? So just the facts that I wanted to share was 8.2 of the adult population is veteran, and this was a few years ago. 9% of the companies in the US are veteran owned. So this equals to about 2 million businesses that are out there. So it's super important that we have special programs that focus in specific groups, and this is one of them. So I mean, probably 10% now. Just in our county alone, we probably have in Hidalgo alone, we have probably over 20,000 veterans, not to mention across the valley. So a couple of programs that might be of interest if you are thinking, and these are in case so these are the programs that I covered, are what we call technical assistance programs. So we are there to help you learn. We are there to help you get through the application process if you need to get a loan, through the planning process, questions about where to register, what are the resources that are out there, anything like that. That's our programs are funded to help you navigate the small business development world better. And then, of course, we have tons of other partners like chambers that are out there also to support you. There's a lot of nonprofits, veteran nonprofit organizations that are there to help in general with veterans issues, and then also in particular to help with small business veteran issues. So a couple of things that might be of interest for those individuals who have decided already to start a business or have one and maybe are looking for growth and are needing external financing. That's not always the case, but if you do need external financing, here are some interesting things about just what is out there that you can access as a veteran, right? So there's a program with the Small Business Administration. It's a loan program. And of course, the Small Business Administration, amongst other things that they do, serve as a guarantor for when somebody wants to borrow from a bank, right? So if the bank offers that type of loan, they're able to get a guarantee from SBA on behalf of the borrower or the business owner. So there's this thing called a guarantee fee. So when they borrow a loan, there's a fee that's going to be charged. So that can be waived for loans under $350,000 for small businesses in general. And so you can access this as well. Specifically for veterans, if you access it through there's a quicker program that's called SBA Express. The fee, which is normally about 2%, 2 to 4% of the loan, that fee can be waived. So as a veteran, you don't have to pay that fee. So that's a savings because then you can put that money to work in the business right up front. And so those are just two different programs. In addition, we have community lenders or nonprofit lenders. They're called Live Fund and People Fund, and they offer the specific program called Community Advantage. It's general. It's for the general public. And under this program, they will waive the fee as well. But if you're able to get, so as veterans, if you're able to get that is available to the general public, you also get what is called a buy down on the interest. So normally you might be looking, and I can't remember right now what the rates might be, but let's say you're looking at a 12% interest rate because maybe the credit is not as great, etc. Well, if you're a veteran, you can access this Community Advantage loan. You get the general waiver of the fee, so you don't have to pay that fee up front. But in addition, because as a veteran, you are able to get a lower interest rate down to 5%. So that is also great because that is interest that you don't have to be paying and you can be using for your business. So those are just some of the tidbits out there. Claudia, for individuals who already are wanting to access a loan or think that they may need one, these programs are out there for you. So I encourage you to reach out to the SBDC, to our VBuck, to different programs that are out there. And just as you're planning, consider some of these questions. What is out there specifically for veterans? There's other things out there that you might be able to take advantage. In addition to the great, the advising, in addition to the training, the different training programs that are out there, both general and also specifically for veterans. These are all out there to help you, and you already paid for them. All our community has paid for them in taxes, so they are there to provide you with that service. As I mentioned, if you would like to get in contact with someone from our VBuck program, we're in the same offices, but you can reach to 956-665-8931. You can also email VBuck, VBOC at utrgv.edu. And of course, you can also search them through the website at utrgv.edu/VBuck. And so this is a group of veterans helping veterans. And again, it's service members, veterans, National Guard, reserve members, and of course, the family, the spouses. And they offer tons of resources. So I think I'll stop there, Claudia, because I think I went on and on. But if there's any questions that you have, I'll be happy to try to address them.
So when somebody calls to make an appointment, do y'all do mentorship, or is it something specific that they'll request?
That is a great question, because I kind of skipped over that as I was looking at my presentation, but we actually do both. So the main focus of these programs is the counseling, the advising. It's the one-to-one. What is the project? And we will work on this project. During the pandemic, we had some additional funding through the CARES Act. And so what we were able to do is, as I mentioned, we reached out to some individuals that help small businesses that are out there, and we asked them to be mentors. So what we do is say, Claudia, you have a business and you have an issue. Let's say you want to enhance your social media presence. So you would work with one of our advisors to figure out, okay, where is Claudia in this knowledge about social media? Like what are you doing right now? How is it working for you, etc. We do a very quick assessment to figure that out and see what you're going to need. And then we bring in one of these mentors that focuses specifically on social media. So if you needed help on the planning of your business, but you wanted to at that point specifically address something in social media, you would have your regular advisor, and then you would work with one of our mentors to focus on, okay, what do we need to do to help you on the social media aspect, to whether it be, increasing followers, or whether it be, a lot of times it's really about sales, right? But sometimes it's about how you get to those sales that also matters, and how you build up your profile or your not your profile, how you build your presence on social media to be able to get to that. And then say after that, you would say, you know what, I haven't been really doing a lot of business online because I have a storefront, but I would like to do more online. Then we would connect you to another one of our mentors that focuses on e-commerce. And so that was the great thing about this last year, and we'll continue to do this into this year as well, that you're able to get like all of these resources. So you can go to training, you can talk to an advisor, then you can talk to a mentor, go back to training. And so all these different services work well together because you're able to get a lot of help. And that's just one of that's just the SBDC, right? The Small Business Development Center. And of course, we have others that are out there. So as these questions come up and you say, now I need X, or Y, we can tell you if it's something that we don't offer as a program because we're not funded or we don't have that knowledge, then we're able to say, Claudia, you need to talk to this other person. And then we'll connect you to those other folks that can help you in another aspect as well. So yeah, so it's a great program, not just because I work there, but it's a great program with a lot of great service that is available to the small businesses or small business owners in our community.
Well, it seems like essentially, if you wanted to start a small business, you could go through the different stages of, planning. And if, there was a specific, create a business plan or social media, you would walk a person through that. So it sounds like a very comprehensive mentorship program that the Small Business Development Center has, to where if you had a specific question or you needed something in particular, that you would be able to have the resources available to the community.
Exactly. Yeah. And so some individuals, as they're planning and whatever, sometimes you research at the beginning, in the middle, wherever you are. There's also resources that's specifically for research. So we can get some information. You want to know what's going on with the market in specific area. Some folks, when they're starting, they know the craft, they know what they want to do, but maybe they're not aware of the overall. So they can get some information there. Some folks are wanting to grow or expand the business, but they're not sure how it's going out there in broadly speaking. So they're able to access some of these research. Actually, our VBuck offers, and Juan wanted me to mention this to you all, for veterans. The VBuck offers a research, additional research, and the SPDC as well. But it's called IBIS World. It's a great tool that you look up an industry. Is how is it going in this industry? So there's this research report that you can read to just be more familiar with that particular industry. They also have access to what is called Live Plan, and that is a business planning tool that you're able to use by working through with one of our VBuck advisors, and then it helps you build. So I think it works through asking questions, coming up with information, and then slowly it starts to build what will become your business plan. So they have, and then I know some of our other partners on campus have additional research tools that they make available as well. So as our clients need them, we connect them with our partners there at UTRGV and outside the UTRGV as well, so that they're able to access as much information as is out there, because I know sometimes it's a lot of information to be sifting through. So whatever we see the individual needs from those conversations that the advisors have with them, then we say, hey, have you heard of this program? Maybe you want to go here, et cetera. And so that's how we're able to build and get that, they call it the ecosystem, where we have all these people working towards that common broader good, and that is helping small businesses in the community succeed, do better, start, grow, all of those things.
Well, it seems like a very comprehensive program that you have at the Small Business Development Center, and it helps to understand all the resources and know about them, because part of the mission that y'all have is to really provide a service to our community. And the fact that we have all these resources here located at UTRGV at the Small Business Development Center, it really makes it easy for people to call or stop by or make an appointment to find out more information.
Absolutely. Yes, it's easy. We try to make it as accessible as possible, and it'll be even more when we get back to normal, because we'll be able to have our advisors going out to more the locations like we were doing before. But as I mentioned, I think virtual came, it's here to stay. So I think we will continue. So if anybody needs virtual, even when we go back to on-site, in person, if somebody needs to do a virtual connection, we'll continue to do that as well. So absolutely. So thank you for that word, Claudia. It's right on. It's comprehensive, and then certain specialized area as well. So yeah, that's our goal, to make sure that people, the bottom line goal is to make sure people, our community knows what programs are out there. And I know there's sometimes it seems like there's so many that we kind of forget. So we remind ourselves. But the first is be aware, right? Being aware of what these resources are. So I thank you again, Claudia, because this is a great forum that helps us get the word, especially right now, because we can't go out as much as we used to. So it helps to get the word out of these services, these important services that are available to the small business community. And then after that, how do you access them? We are very easily accessible. We're just a phone call or an email away, so you can get access to us. And then, of course, after that, you work at your pace with the advisor. You can meet with the advisor once. You can meet with the advisor 10 times. You can meet with them for an hour. You can meet with them for 10 hours. It's really what your project is, what you want to do, and then you move through that process with the advisor. And you can set, if you need to finish something in 3 months, that's the plan. If you need to finish, I know some folks have told me I'm planning for my future, so I don't plan to start until a year. That is even better, because then you have time to do your research, your planning, the discussions, and then, you can set up an appointment monthly and talk to the advisor to make, as you make progress on your project. So it's really like what is your need? Let us know, and then we will help you.
Well, Maria, I would like to thank you so much for presenting today about small business development, and specifically for veterans today. Thank you so much. It's very informative, and you all have a lot of resources there at the Small Business Development Center. So thank you so much for presenting today. And I would like to thank all the audience for watching our program today. And you can follow us on our social media page at facebook.com/MPL Adults. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Claudia. Bye.